Back here at the Midway, the happiest place in Missouri, the Missouri State Fair, with a man whose name I'm afraid I've butchered more than once. But I don't feel too bad.
No,
Elad Gross, did I get that right?
No, you still did it.
God, dang it.
It's Elad Gross.
I was messing with you. I actually get the A right. I knew.
You do.
But the E is somehow confusing.
The E is tough.
Although it's kind of nice because people remember it, right?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
So running for Attorney General,
That's right.
I got to ask you, now the suit and tie at the fair, what do you think?
Best dressed man here right now.
Well, you stick out.
I do, a little bit, yeah.
So I guess that's good.
That's good, yeah.
So third time to the fair this year?
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah, this is the third one.
Love it.
Third one, yeah.
Opening
parade. That was a great time. My little dog was there. She said hi to everyone. And then we came back on Saturday. Now we're here. We were here for the ham breakfast this morning.
What's your favorite part of the parade?
Oh, of the parade or the
fair?
fair?
No, the fair.
The fair. Well, the parade's fun, but I'd say I enjoy visiting the Republican tent. It's my favorite thing to do. I always recruit.
Okay, now what's that like?
I always recruit at least one person.
Are they like, what the hell are you doing here?
No.
Well, tell me how that goes.
Yeah, we have a really good conversation most of the time. Actually,
I regard you so highly.
Thank you.
Because you go travel places in this state and you talk to folks, and you're very much a happy warrior.
Yeah.
My buddy Tony Lovasco, kind of from a different perspective.
Yeah, sure.
But is very much a guy that I can tell you, in my life, I look at things differently because I was friends with Tony Lovasco.
Yeah.
And he would approach things not from some sour, whiny, whatever, but he would approach things as he would make a friend. My mom is a church secretary.
Oh, I didn't.
She's real good at getting folks to come to church, but she makes a friend.
Yeah.
Then before you know it, they're sitting on the pew happy as they can be to be there.
Right.
I have such a high regard for you because you do the work. You travel this state, and when you put out an argument, it is a positive one that people are kind of drawn to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Look, I mean, it's hard not to be really positive about Missouri when you're traveling so much.
Yeah.
And I think when you're talking to people, and the whole thing. Harry Truman would disagree with that pronunciation, but
he's wrong.
That's fine.
He's wrong.
We'll see.
Kit Faughn was right.
Kit was in Missouri?
Of course he's from Mexico.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
When they talk about not letting Mexicans vote,
that's
I'm like,
tough.
now damn it, what about Audrain County? You gotta let them Mexicans vote, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you do. You really do.
So so when you're out talking to folks, what are you hearing?
I'm hearing, so, I've talked to, what's interesting to me is you're talking around the state, and I talk about what the Attorney General's office can and used to do and should be doing right now. And I think
it is a fair statement that, let me give you my take on it. You tell me where I'm at.
Yeah.
You're an attorney.
Yeah.
Look, I thought, Josh Hawley was in a tough spot. You get elected, and that next week they say, you're going to be our guy for U.S. Senate.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that could have been Attorney General, but I felt like a lot of folks would have said, okay, the campaign has to become a priority. I think most people that have had that job, I would think the campaign becomes a priority. Eric Schmidt, I thought the first 2 years he did a very good job.
Yeah.
Then the campaign became a priority.
Yeah.
Andrew Bailey said to have the campaign be a priority from the beginning. Am I wrong?
Yeah, but look, here's my view. And Kit Faughn's a great example of this, right?
The greatest Missouri.
So, I mean, there were folks, Jack Danforth, Kit Faughn, John, there were folks who understood that good government is good politics. I don't think good politics is always good government.
Is that true today?
It should be. I think if somebody was suing scammers, they were taking care of folks on the phones, they were doing the job that the Attorney General's office is supposed to do, I think that person would win in a landslide. I'm surprised that Andrew Bailey isn't focusing on doing that. Every day you could put out a press release, here's a guy I prosecuted, here's the rape kits that I dealt with, here's the scammer I went after, but I mean, that's not what he's choosing to use our resources.
Take your lawyer hat off, put your politician hat on though, all right?
All right, go on, yeah,
we're
switching. They're kind of the same.
Andrew Bailey had the job 18 months, never having been elected before, never having been elected office.
Sure.
He had the New York boys sent about $15 million to beat him, and he won 2-1.
Yeah.
So he's doing something the public agrees with, right?
Well,
even you'd have to admit, from your political hat, that was an impressive win, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I do agree with that.
So there is, I mean, the fact is you could blame the office holder, but isn't oftentimes the office holder just a representation of what the folks want?
It can be. I think a big problem in the Attorney General's race overall, and one that I'm fighting a whole lot, is that a lot of folks don't know much about the office. They don't know who the Attorney General is right now. I think that's true. I'm surprised by that.
You had Nixon there for what?
16 years? Yeah, 16 years.
You had Koster there for 8 years.
Right.
You haven't had an Attorney General. I mean, Schmidt was there for 4 years.
Right.
Is the longest serving one in the last 8 years.
Yeah, I guess, you had the 2 and then, right.
I mean, you've been 8 years, but really you've had 3 in 8 years.
Right.
Sometimes it's harder when you have the turnover, right?
That's true. Yeah, I agree
it's not like the old boys have been getting fired for cause. They've been getting promoted.
Well, I have a view on that, but
you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not as though that, they've been getting drug out in handcuffs.
Right.
It's that they've been going to the United States Senate.
Right.
But there has been a lot of turnover. Doesn't matter, right?
There has been a lot of turnover.
So tell me, give me an Attorney General you thought did a hell of a job you'd pattern yourself after.
That's a good question. Because there's changes I think I would make even, so I worked when Koster was there.
Yeah.
I think there's changes
A
I
hell
would
of a
make.
man.
Yeah, I think he did a really good job. I think Jay Nixon did a really good job before
I think
him.
most folks would agree with you.
I honestly think that part of what Eric Schmidt did when he came in, I think he had a mess that he inherited. I think initially, just like you said, I think he did a good job stabilizing that office, but I think it kind of went off the rails a little bit after that. So I think that there are folks who had good, and I talked to folks who used to work there for years and years. I mean, the first Solicitor General of Missouri was under Koster and Nixon, and I think there's a lot of folks who, with a lot of institutional knowledge. Jim Layton, and you know, he's one of the supervisors I had there.
Smart guy.
So
Damn,
smart.
he's smart old boy.
I mean, he knows everything about everything Missouri, and I think there's a lot of folks.
Now, I might have messed your name up, but you messed the state name up.
You know, there's a state song, and which has some problematic elements of it, but the state song says
it here.
Missouri.
Well,
it says Missouri.
So you're saying that
I'm gonna
racist
witness now, right?
interpretation
We're gonna yeah, that's
is what
true.
you agree with.
That is a good point. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why it's tough to use that as an.
I mean, there's a Johnny Cash version that's not as bad.
Okay.
That he goes Missouri.
He says Missouri.
You could make a case to me that the Missouri Waltz, it doesn't. The newer versions probably should be the official state song.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, some of it.
We got some things to update. Although I am a big fan.
I'm a big fan of tradition, but I do think that ain't gonna hurt nothing to update that song.
We definitely cannot change the state wonder dog. I put the line there.
So you got the Wonder Dog in Marshall, right?
Jim the Wonder Dog, yeah.
Then you got Old Drum down.
And the third, she would be here right now. I didn't realize I could bring her in. I saw a corgi here. Would be Liberty Bell.
I do like the dog.
She's great.
Now, I'm not a dog person, but I like the pictures of the dog.
Yeah, she's great. Wait, she's on all of the campaign lit and everything. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, but she's she's on the campaign. She's on the back of my truck right now.
That is a happy dog. With
I get claps on the highway if it says "End Puppy Mills, vote a lot," and it's got the picture of the dog, and it's the best thing I've done.
Okay, I do like that. That is nice.
I'll have to bring next time we do this. I will bring her with me.
Well, a lot of them bring the F-150 tour to your area. Hopefully, you'll hop in the truck with me. We'll visit.
You know what? I'll hop in your truck. You hop in my truck right after.
Anytime.
Great.
Anytime. We'll go for a drive.
We'll do it.
Elad, thank you so much. I really,
Thanks
and
for
I mean
having
that. I have such a high regard for your
you.
ability to not your ability. Anybody could.
Yeah.
Your work ethic to travel this state and visit with folks. I hold it in just the absolute most high regard.
Well, thank you. I just enjoy doing it. I think it's a great state.
Well, and we're here at the Missouri State Fair, the Midway, where the whole state comes here for a week and a half.
Or the Missouri State Fair, depending on. But
well, we ain't in St. Louis, we ain't in Kansas City, we ain't on the campus of Mizzou. So we're at the Missouri State Fair, regardless of what he says. Even when he's Attorney General, I ain't gonna agree with him. But we'll see you back here this afternoon. We'll see you Sunday for This Week in Missouri Politics.